Ukraine is on the back foot on the front lines. The Russian forces continue to inch forward pretty much every day. Despite the delivery of the much-promised Western weapon systems to the Ukrainian forces, it doesn't seem to be having any effect in halting the Russian advance. The long-awaited F-16s are due to arrive in Kiev in a few weeks from now, and today Germany announced that it has given yet another Patriot missile defense system. But the tide seems to be slowly changing in Moscow's favor. Now, in a bit of a startling volte-face, the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has extended an olive branch to Moscow. He is inviting Russian representatives to attend the next peace summit without any preconditions. This dramatic shift comes just mere weeks after Zelensky's adamant stance that it can talk of truce only if Russia relinquishes the occupied Ukrainian territories. Simultaneously, in a calculated move, the Russian President Vladimir Putin met with the Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán in Moscow. Putin said that he is ready to discuss the nuances of the Ukraine conflict, but has demanded for the total withdrawal of all Ukrainian troops from the 4 regions that have been annexed by Russia. And all this diplomatic maneuvering is taking place against the backdrop of the increasing Russian military pressure at the Ukrainian strategic retreats. As Kiev grapples with mounting challenges on the battlefield, its forces find themselves on the back foot in the strategically crucial town of Chasiv Yar. The Ukrainian military has acknowledged a partial withdrawal from its eastern Donetsk stronghold, facing relentless Russia's scorched earth tactics that are aimed at obliterating potential defensive positions. Adding to the tension, Russia's defense ministry drills are also underway involving mobile nuclear missile launchers, a clear demonstration of Moscow's nuclear capabilities. And this follows the recent tactical nuclear exercises, further ratcheting up the stakes in the conflict. The Russian forces also claim some significant strikes against the Ukrainian military assets, including the destruction of tanks and the US-made howitzers and MiG-29 fighter jets. Moreover, Moscow claims successful attacks on many military enterprises, oil refineries and also drone production facilities, potentially crippling Ukraine's logistical and industrial capabilities. So as the conflict enters into this new phase, with Zelensky's unexpected diplomatic overtures and Putin's calculated openness for dialogue, the international community is watching with bated breath. The coming weeks will prove crucial in determining if these developments herald a genuine path towards peace, or do they merely represent a tactical posturing in an increasingly protracted conflict. All right, now to give us more perspective on this, we're being joined by Mr. John Irath, who's a Senior Policy Director for the Center for Arms Control and Non-Proliferation, and he's joining us live on this broadcast. Mr. Irath, what do you make of this statement by Volodymyr Zelensky, where he has said that you'd like to see Russian representatives in the next summit for a Ukrainian war ceasefire, where he says that he'd like to talk without any preconditions?
The Ukrainian position really changed. I think that Zelensky has been very careful in choosing his words and choosing his actions so that he can build momentum towards an international position that would provide for a ceasefire with the withdrawal of Russian forces from the areas that they currently occupy. In that sense, Ukraine's position has not changed. The Russian offensive continues, but it is going somewhat slower than expected and at tremendous cost to Russia. So the question is really, how long can Russia keep up the pressure that it's putting Ukraine under? And at what point will Russia have to reconsider?
You know, it's interesting that you say that the Ukrainian position has not changed and that Zelensky is actually choosing his words carefully. But this is a sharp climb down from Volodymyr Zelensky, who in the past has said that the only time the Ukrainians will consider dialogue and negotiations is once all Russian soldiers have been evicted from Ukrainian soil. Do you not see there is a change of stance in the tone and also the words that Volodymyr Zelensky is now choosing?
I think it's a calculated tactical change. What Zelensky is saying is that when the time comes when Russia is ready to talk about a ceasefire and talk about pulling out of some of the occupied territories, that it will be on the terms of an international plan, not a Ukrainian plan. This is what emerged from the peace conference last month in Switzerland, which Russia did not attend. So I think Zelensky wants to build momentum in that direction, that there is an international plan that involves Russia giving up its occupied territories, and that when Russia is ready, it can accept this.
It's also interesting that Zelensky's statement has come just ahead of the NATO scheduled summit next week, where the military alliance has in fact flagged corruption in Ukraine as a key issue for its setback on the battlefield. What's your take on
that? Corruption in Ukraine is something that has been endemic in that government since the country became independent. It's one of the reasons why Ukraine has struggled in conducting the war, and it's a question that Zelensky needs to address. And NATO is right to express concern about this.
All right, very interesting. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. John Rath, for joining us and getting us that perspective there.
You're very welcome.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.